have the one who was responsible
actually,
for that.
to supplement yours for contextualization, the report manages to even identify where the way bridges were sold. That would call for intervention of even Interpol.
Mr.
Because
Chairman,
wait.
There I need some clarification. There.
And by the way, the way bridges went through your constituency.
But when was it noticed? When was it noticed that it is missing?
You see, the problem we are dealing with, why it's bigger and more complex, is that this was identified by the auditors. Was it auditors? First, it was identified by the auditors, by the Auditor General. Then it goes to CPAC, the City Public Accounts Committee. Now, the tracking would involve CID interfacing with the auditors to give them part of the information they received, how they even came to identify where the way bridges were sold. CID, working with ESO and Interpol, would even go and identify where the way bridges are, and would even get to know who actually sold them. It is also a matter that involves foreign relations, that you have your property stolen and found in another jurisdiction, in a neighboring jurisdiction. Now, we do not even know whether where they were sold is a facility managed by the government or by a private player like ours here. I think it is bigger than that. Frank Rusa, would you call your CID officer who is handling this matter now? We will give you a minute to excuse yourself. Call that CID officer or the head to come here now. Wait. Not on this. Please do that. Honorable Tungo.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Chair, can thank
Honorable Kabulindi, I will manage the proceedings properly. Honorable Itungo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I've not gotten a voted look at the report, but I would imagine after raising the issue, there is an explanation of the accounting officer. And Mr. Chairman, Article 164 of the Constitution is very clear on the matters of accountability. That even when the accounting officer ceases to hold the office, he can still be summoned to account. And Mr. Chairman, Article 9 of the Constitution and our rules of procedure gives us power as a committee to summon any person. So, Chair, why don't we trace who was the accounting officer to come and account? As we summon the CIDs, who was the accounting officer by then, and why didn't the person come and account for that query, Mr. Chairman?
Ale?
Mr. Chair, I think to be helped, we need the auditors who identified the problem. Maybe they can be able to explain more. Because they'll be able to tell us how they got to know the problem. And I'm very sure we have the names. If they were able to know that the equipments crossed the border from Uganda to
I think internally we are going to identify the auditors. Don't forget that the Auditor General is our staff. We will get there. You know, what is disturbing, first of all, is we want to know in which audit report that matter came up. Lord Mayor, which report was this?
2011, 2012.
but it was specifically 2011.
So it means that the audit report of 2011-12 was only reviewed in 2025 by the CPAC.
Chair, it's a long story.
Yes.
For several years, we didn't have CPAC. Yes, there were fights against the constitution of the CPAC. At least since 2011, I've been around, and I've been struggling to have CPAC in place. Finally, it is in place. But that time, there was no CPAC.
So it is dealing with the backlog.
Exactly.
Who was the accounting officer at the time?
Chair, those were the days of impeachment.
No, but there was an accounting officer.
The accounting officer was Jennifer Semakula Musisi.
Good. Okay. I think before we even zero on whether to request the presence of the accounting officer, we want to look to read this report, including the Auditor General's report in issue. We would invite, therefore, Madam Jennifer Semakula Musisi, who was the director in charge of Kcca, where the thing was lost. Because there was a director, she was the executive director. There was also a responsible director for the docket. Yes. During those days, for those who can remember, we can still find out. It's not a difficult thing to know.
Mr. Chairman, some clarification.
Yes, clarification.
Mr. Chairman, we are dealing with something that was addressed or should have been addressed in the Treasury Memorandum. And when you look at the Auditor General's report, when you look at the report on page, they indicate that
I want to open with you.
Page 35. Page 35, 4.3. Audit of the Treasury Memorandum.
Yes.
We would suspend this business because it is one of them. It is something that took place in the previous audit reports. So that we now have it, the whole of it, because 5 out of 14 were not implemented. That could have been one of them. Because if we now handle one piecemeal, we shall not get an answer.
But supposing the Treasury Memorandum does not include this.
So this is where the Lord Mayor should give us a copy of the Treasury Memorandum.
A Treasury Memorandum from the Lord Mayor?
Yeah, because you see the Lord Mayor works with the minister, who is the policy manager.
No, it doesn't work that way. Treasury Memorandum is actually a responsibility of the Ministry of Finance.
Okay, but
Yes.
you know the Lord Mayor is a politician.
Yes, but is a politician?
Yes.
You see,
You see, for us to address this thing conclusively and effectively,
actually the
we need a copy of the Treasury Memorandum.
Honorable Kwizera, the Treasury Memorandum is a property of Parliament because it is given to us and is audited or is
So, Mr.
scrutinized
Chairman,
by ourselves.
With
What we are going to
your wisdom,
Yeah, you're not
can
lying.
you direct the clerk to avail to this committee Treasury Memorandum of this entity?
It is so done. Honorable Nkunyinji, but before that, Honorable Kwizera, when you look at page 35 where you referred us, you will find that the Auditor General says out of the 14 recommendations issued, 7 recommendations were fully implemented, 2 recommendations were partially implemented, while 5 were not implemented. And he gives a table. Management of the report of the Committee on Commissioned Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises for the financial year 2021-14. Fully implemented, 7. Partially implemented, 2. Not implemented, 5. Now this relates to those recommendations for the financial year 20 21. It does not relate to the one which we are talking about, of 11-12.
You see, Mr. Chairman, for us to be sure, let the Office of Auditor General show us a matrix of these partially implemented, fully implemented, and not implemented. The Auditor General should furnish this committee with those. And we find out, we convince ourselves that that is not one of them.
No. I want to make the context clear. That even if they gave you that very one that they are talking about here, which is very easy, and they can provide it, please provide it, it will not contain the issue that we are talking about. If PAC considered the issue we are discussing, that is PAC.
It has been reoccurring, Mr. Chairman. It has been reoccurring because it was never resolved.
Okay, I was here last year. I did not hear about these two-way bridges. The point I am making, Honorable Kcca, is that either these way bridges would have been contained in the report of 2011-12 before Parliament, or that of the CPAC, if CPAC existed then. So we are going to dig for the report of 2011-12, which I have already guided that they avail us. And the report of Cosase then, I am not sure, actually. I was not on Cosase then, but we will get the report of Cosase then and see if it addressed the issue of the way bridges. Honorable Kabulindi, you were part? It never came up. So, that's why I have called for CID to come here. Because apparently, this matter has been handled in a clumsy way. And now we want to see results. Honorable Kunyinji Mwada.
Thank you, Chair. As we wait for the CID,
Of course we are moving.
I want to interrogate another critical aspect under 1.6. I read from the report that the department 1.61 that I observed. I'm reading from the response, but it's part of the Auditor General's report.
Yes.
That I also observed that the unit lacked adequate staff, since the structure allows only 13 staff, including 5 divisions, but only 2 staff are substantive. Only 2 staff are substantive, the manager of solid waste and environment management, and 1 officer of solid waste. Now,
that one is catered for in 1.4. And we said we shall deal with 1.6, 1.5, and 1.4. So it is already, it is a substantive issue.
Chair, my inquiry at this point was, because I see Kcca with a lot of Chiboko squad, enforcement officers, among others. And I wanted to interrogate, one of their would be...
I don't think in the structure of Kcca there is Chiboko squad, but I know there are enforcement officers who may behave Chiboko-ish.
Those who beat Batembe. Now, but whenever we see the ED, she has a lot of bodyguards. Now, we want to interrogate the structure. The structure.
ED go on record, because the shaking of the head will not be recorded, and you seem to be protesting that.
I have a lot of bodyguards.
How many do you have?
Bodyguards, I have 1.
Only 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you say I don't have a lot, someone will assume you have a number.
We see on TV.
Is it a man or a woman?
Chair, because they have to take leave, they alternate. I have a man and a woman.
Okay.
Now they have become 2 until they become many. Now,
okay.
But Chair, my concern was,
yes,
could we look at a record of the approved staff structure.
Okay.
Let's interrogate that structure. Two, who approves it? Because you
It
cannot
is
talk
public service.
and in the process of approval, we believe there is a role and input of Kcca in recommendation.
It is in submission and recommendation of
Exactly.
the
So,
staffing structure.
Because before we talk about the funding, we must interrogate the structure.
Honorable Nkunyinji Mwada, once the structure has been approved by public service, we have no role. It is a technical matter.
Now, here we are dealing with a situation where there is no one to supervise. Machineries are stolen up and taken up to Rwanda. No one can account for the record and chronology. We must interrogate issues of staffing, especially in these technical
Would you
departments.
therefore wait that we reach that point, which is 1.4? What is the concern? There are two people who has conspired to raise a concern. Choose one of you.
Of course, the wise men come from the east, so.
And they come and settle in the central. So they left the east. In the east, they are not there because they came. Yes.
Mr. Chair, now I'm just interested in knowing. One, first of all, the fact that the gadget was stolen.
Gadgets, sir, because there were two.
Okay, the gadgets were stolen, which we are using to know the quantities of waste that is being dropped daily or monthly
Yes.
or something. What I want to know is as to whether, as of today, we have records relating to quantities that we drop daily.
Okay. Idi and your deputy, you need to listen to that question.
Chair, the fact that the gadgets were stolen, the way bridge. Okay.
Yes?
Now, this Mnyankole man is thinking we are in Kcca.
I have no evidence here he's a Mnyankole. I know he's a member of parliament.
So, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
what I'm trying to understand, the way bridge were stolen.
Mm.
Right now,
Does the report say they brought dysfunctional ones? They removed the new ones?
and they installed the
Yes.
non-function one.
Mm.
Now, Mr. Chairman, what I'm interested, do we have a way of determining the quantities that we drop daily
Okay.
in terms of garbage? Because now we have non-functional way bridges.
Procedure?
What do we use to determine?
Procedure,
Mr. Chairman,
Honorable Mangoli?
thank you, Mr. Chairman. The point of procedure, Mr. Chairman, I would like to raise is that the issue we are discussing about is 13 years ago. It is not even a query in our current books of accounts that we are interrogating. And we are taking too much time on the same issue that the road mayor has just raised.
How much
13
time
years
do-
ago.
How much
It
time
is
do you
not
think we
even.
should have allocated to it?
I wouldn't even allow to be allocated the time, Mr. Chairman, because it cannot form
Order,
part
order.
of our report.
Order, Mr. Chairman.
We are looking at the Auditor General's report for the last 1 year.
Order, Mr.
You
Chairman.
know-
And we are talking about the issue. that
Honorable
happened 13
Nangoli
years
comes
ago.
from a clan called
So, Mr.
Yavomululu.
Chairman,
And the maternal side is Mamuliachi. Mamulianyuma. Honorable Nangoli, it is a very, very important issue that involves taxpayers' money, but also that relates to integrity in serving our people. It's a very, very important issue.
Information.
Yes, you want to inform us?
Yeah, on this particular issue, the current audit query is about hire at exorbitant cost. And internally, we are grappling with the issue. Should we continue hiring or we purchase our own? So we are raising the concerns we are having. That purchase has got issues. If you purchase, they will be stolen. So we are asking Parliament to plug loopholes for us.
No, actually, we will not plug loopholes for you. We can purchase, give them to you, leave you with the responsibility to protect them. You steal them, we lock you up. We sell your property. Because even this one, we are not leaving it here. Okay? It has to be discussed. I think this is how we're going to conclude. Shall we have a report from Frank Rusa on CID? Because Even our recommendation will have to speak to our findings of today.
Honorable Chairman, I've had an opportunity to speak with the head of CID, ACP Mugwisaje, and he has informed me that he's out of jurisdiction. He has gone on official duty, but he has committed to making an appearance here next time he's summoned to give this honorable committee an update of.
We shall have a report next week from Mr. Mugwisaje. For now, Mugwisaje will come here. Of course, the question Honorable Chiwanuka is asking is legitimate, except that interrogating it will take time. Because you are the complainant, ordinarily you would be having your reference. Except that it was done the way they did it. They had a discussion in a meeting. CID picked up. CID ordinarily should have, upon picking it up, should have provided a reference and known who the the complainant is. Then he would have recorded a statement. You know, some of those are gaps.
The head legal looks scared, very scared. He should reveal to us if...
You do not need to defend yourself, Frank Rusa. Can't we move to the next? I am giving final guidance on this so that we move to the next. One, clerk, we want the report of the Auditor General of 2011-2012. Number two, to dig up the records of Cosase, if it was discussed. Number three, on our own, to instruct our CID. Where are they? Yes, CID, to take up the matter in liaison with Frank Rusa, with the CID of Kcca, to give us a report by Tuesday on how far they have moved. Okay? Then, Mr. Rusa, you have this. Who told you you can eat before you work? Okay, you may access.
I told you, Chair, he's looking for fresh air.
Okay. Frank, you have forgotten what St. Paul said. Before you work, forget about eating. Frank, what you do, you're going to work with our CIDs in processing that report to be brought here on Tuesday. Among the terms, you must establish who the accounting officer was, who the director health and environment was, who was in charge of Chitezi. Look at the handover between Otada and the Kcca, or Kcca, yes, Kcca. Then the handover between the Kcca and the Nippon. What was handed over? ED, you need to facilitate that process, not in terms of money, but provision of documents. Okay, let's go to 1.62, management of waste by Kcca. Sorry? Honorable Naomi Kabasharira, would you want to introduce yourself? For the record, you've been seated there and talking, but we have not captured your presence.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Naomi Kabashara. I represent Rushen County in Ntungamo district.
You need to give assurance that you survived the stones that were in Ntungamo.
I did.
Honorable
I was saying that he can now go and eat.
Okay. Frank, you can now eat some mandas, because when you're out there, you say, Avari Mukulia, you also eat. Honorable Sivambi, introduction.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I apologize, I came a little bit late. Yusuf Sivambi, a member of Parliament of Mawakota County South, also a member of this committee.
Okay. 1.6.2.
Honorable Kcca is out of order. He's asking which party. And
is indeed. I did not hear him on the microphone. I think you just overtrusted his voice. Following the Kitez disaster, Kcca put in place measures to ensure better solid waste management in the city and the surrounding areas. However, There are still challenges in the treatment and safe disposal of waste as highlighted below. 1. Purchase of land at Dundu. Although Kcca purchased 135 acres of land in 2015 at 5 billion as an alternative dumping site, the community in Dundu resisted the relocation of the dumping site, which left the land idle and prone to encroachment. Funding for disaster response. Following the 2024 disaster, government released 4.92 billion to Kcca in October 24 to support interim operations at Kcca and Nkumba dumping sites, including stabilizing Kcca's slopes. Consequently, Kcca was requested to open an account, Kcca Contingency Fund, in Bank of Uganda. By the time of the audit, December 24, which was 4 months after the disaster, the funds had not yet been utilized and were still on the Kcca contingency account number, that one, in Bank of Uganda. Management of waste in Kampala. Following the Kcca's disaster, Kcca relocated waste dumping to Katabi, Nkumba, and Kcca temporarily dumping sites in Entebbe and Mukono municipalities, respectively. However, these sites lack the capacity to receive the volume of waste collected from Kampala and the greater Kampala metropolitan area. This has led to an environmental accumulation of backlog of collection of waste in the city, which poses health and environmental risks to citizens. I think this will give us a status, partly which we have, but also the decommissioning process, how you left those two places, Kcca and Nkumba. Did you just walk away? Disaster preparedness by Kcca. I noted that Kcca does not have a functional disaster management committee to cope with and manage disasters such as the collapse of the Kcca's landfill, among others. I further noted that no training has been given to empower Kcca staff to respond to disasters in Kampala. This may limit risk assessment, identification, and response, which increase the risk of disasters and their associated effects, such as loss of property and lives. Explanation of the accounting officer was that waste dumping operations were relocated to Nkumba and Kcca for continuity of the waste management services in the city, and the authority has since received contingency funds to address immediate needs to minimize the aftermath effects of lack of an adequate waste disposal facility. Part of the resources have been earmarked for the procurement of vacant land to serve the need for emergency waste disposal services in Kampala, in the city. Additionally, Kcca is in the final stages of contracting for the decommissioning, remediation, and repurposing of Kcca's landfill. There are quite a number of components in this complaint, in this purchase of land in Mukono. Lord Mayor, what do you intend to use this land for? You acquired it for 5 billion.
I had intended, Chair, if it pleases you, to start with the policy issue on disaster risk management committee, because it governs the rest. Chair, thank you. Chair, in 2020, we adopted this Kampala disaster risk climate change resilience strategy. I superintended over these processes myself, and Chair, we adopted it as our guiding tool, and the forward I gave here was quite instructive on what needed to be done to address disasters in the city. So this is the guiding instrument. Thereafter, Chair, yes, Chair, and thereafter, Chair, we did the profiling of the disasters we are prone to. This is the multi-hazard risk and vulnerability profile for the capital city. We profiled all the disasters here in this huge report. We went ahead, Chair. You can see Kampala Capital City Authority Emergency Response Plan for Disaster Risk Management. This is 2025-2030. This is the agenda on how to manage the disaster. We also adopted this one. The Kampala Capital City Authority Emergency Response Plan, Disaster Management. So, Chair, these is 3 instruments, I'm afraid to say, with a lot of disillusionment, have not yet been implemented. And this relates to some of the structural challenges we are facing. So the audit query is... This is the protocol. Just hand over those.
Let's receive them first. This one is called the Kampala Capital City Authority Emergency Response Plan for Disaster Risk Management 2530. The second is the updated multi-hazard risk and vulnerability profile for Kampala Capital City. And the procurement reference number Kcca GKMA CONS 2425 to 0002020 June 25. Kampala Disaster Risk and Climate Change Resilience Strategy. Thank you. You were telling us...
Mr. Chairman, some clarification on those policies. Mr. Chairman, on the documents submitted.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, we have a national policy for disaster preparedness and management as a country policy. So the implementation mechanism the mayor is talking about should be in line with this one, with this national policy, because it is only national policy.
So have you observed that it is not?
Until we get it, so...
You see, Honorable Kwizera is presenting their efforts. It is up to us to read them and say they are consistent or not.
So now the Auditor General considered which document?
Chair,
proceed.
Those instruments are anchored on the National Disaster Response Policy. They are in tandem. There is no contradiction. And Chair, from there, I embarked on the journey, personally, of implementing those ones in line with the National Disaster Response Policy and also operationalization of the mechanisms. And Chair, what I have encountered as personally as the Lord Mayor.
Just a minute. Where is the clerk? CID, can you arrest the clerk and bring him back? This meeting will be suspended for 5 minutes.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group, HGO brand, has officially launched the rider selection campaign.
With Momo, you have the power to pay your bills fast and conveniently using your phone. Dial *165*4# or scan to download Momo app and pay for water, electricity, TV, school fees, and much more. It's simple and saves you a lot of time. Just pull out your phone and pay. That's Momo. That's the power to be more.
Show your confidence with skin that looks this good. New Nivea Nourishing Cocoa, now with Hyaluron.
To utilization of the whole piece.
Maybe you have not generated enough waste to utilize the entire piece.
Chair, that piece is not going to be covered by waste. As alluded to by my Lord Mayor, we are going to have a waste management facility, waste management and resource recovery facility at that site. Okay. We are not going to dump traditionally.
Have you been concerned that it's caveated and you are due to make another payment?
The letter came in last week, and as usual when we get such letters, we write to the concerned ministries to get the background information, then we engage the party.
I thought you would have obtained the background information before.
As I said, Chair, at the time of procurement, we obtained the background information. All people who contested the land, including NFA, we wrote to them to provide proof of ownership. We even wrote to the Solicitor General, who also wrote to them. All those who queried that land at the time of procurement, we wrote to them. There was even a court case which was going on that particular land. We waited until it was determined, then we concluded. So this one came in last week, and we are going to look at it.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, can I get some clarification on
Yes, Honorable Kcca.
The Chairman, thank you very much. The Chairman, you asked the issue of policy in regard to this matter. The Chairman realized that much of the solid and non-solid waste is much of it comes from outside the city, and the road mayor knows that the act itself was introduced to attract attention and get corresponding resources for a special purpose. What does the road mayor say about this management of Ccca and other areas, in view that now the city is managed under central government and is given a priority in terms of resources? Because, Mr. Chairman, we don't want to think that the managers of Kampala State Authority have failed something when the resources are not given. So I want the road mayor to tell us what effort he has made to make sure that at least the whole public understands that this garbage doesn't come from the city, and the government has given adequate resources research.
It has given adequate resources?
Yeah, because why state, although it is under local government, not local government, it was put in a special place, president's office, because they be given special attention.
Are you trying to say the president is the one managing or mismanaging the garbage?
Yes, this is under president's office. Under the president, I mean, that's where they are, president.
So the garbage is a property of the presidency?
No, the law. I'm sorry about this.
Okay, Lord Mayor, answer the member's question.
The Treasury Memorandum, the Lord Mayor should tell us what was observed by Parliament, the resources. At least you help this committee.
But the Lord Mayor said, if I remember well, he wants to tell us more after the ED has finished the management response. Maybe we don't jump the gun.
Yeah, but you see, Mr. Chairman, there are some more issues that
you will still be there to ask the
ED
question.
may not even feel comfortable to answer.
Why are you speculating?
That's why on policy now.
You are speculating. Let us hear the ED. After hearing the ED, you are not going away, so you will answer all the questions. You will not be allowed to exit. CID ensure that the Honorable Kcca does not leave this room, does not leave the basement. Honorable Mwadanku Nyingi, you are one of the contributors of, to the solid waste as according to Honorable Kcca.
Chair, I trust you'll make a ruling accordingly. But from the immediate response of the ED, through you, I was seeking, first of all, to look at the relevant searches and due diligence reports Kcca alleges to have done. And I think...
ED, let's have them by close of business today.
They will be provided.
Thank you. Honorable Okeo Peter from Bukoli Island or Islands.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Just in addition to what Honorable Nkunyingi is stating, actually, I am also not comfortable with the explanation the ED gave about the land that is contested. And the question is, really, was there due diligence? And I wanted the
She has answered
I wanted the director legal.
I
wanted the information from director legal, the Honorable Chair, that if all this was done, then there would be now no caveat put.
No, that it doesn't follow. It does not necessarily follow. Supposing the caveat is simply a champtuous bystander, a person not so busy. You cannot judge them by now. I think let's first get the reports. You know, there are people we call vexatious litigants. You will determine that they are when you have exhausted the entire chain and looked at the documents they produce. So the director legal for now is protected. Yes, Honorable Itungo Nathan.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman, just for the record, we don't have those records you have. I just wanted you to confirm for us whether the caveat was put before or after the purchase. And
oh, you want to know the date? The
yes.
date of the caveat, no, it was after. The caveat was lodged in June, on 5th June 2025, while Mr. Luwaga David Derrick was registered on the 19th day of December 2023. So it was lodged a year and a half later. Yes, but what we can do, Madam ED, you, in addition to those documents, you send us your purchase agreement, your sale agreement, because we'll be able to know when you bought and the dates.
Yeah, Chair, I wanted
Chair?
to concur with you that we need this purchase agreement or the sale agreement, because when you calculate here the 200.
Everyone deserves a smartphone, so level up with Airtel Kcca. Own a new smartphone of your choice today and pay as you use with Airtel. To own a smartphone, visit the nearest Airtel service center or any of our Kcca partners, Watu Simu, M-Kopa, Mogo, or D-Lite, and pay in quick and easy installments daily, weekly, and monthly. That's not all. On every new smartphone, you also enjoy 100% bonus on all weekly and monthly data bundles purchased every month for 3 months. Dial *100*28# to check eligibility. Step into the future. Kcca today. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Staffing, and also we've not yet obtained enough funding to invest in the waste management and resource recovery facility. However, on the equipment, we have clearly put down our requirements for the equipment we need to ensure that we manage garbage well. We have made that request to the Ministry of Finance to be able to provide the required resources. We have also had interactions with the Office of the Prime Minister on the dire need we are in for equipment. In the meantime, we are not saying that we are not maintaining the site.
Would you want to share with us those communications?
Yes, I can.
Because if you read the report we last made here, which was adopted by Parliament in 2 resolutions, as the Lord Mayor said, we observed that one of the glaring inadequacies on the part of Kcca management is communicating with the different sections within the authority. A letter or a memo written to the ED by Dr. Kero, the Director Health and Environment then, was not shared with the authority. Our interpretation of the law, and when we are appropriating money to the authority, is that we do not give money to technical staff. We give money to the authority, and the authority is defined basically as the Lord Mayor and then the other political organs which you serve. But when it comes to your communications, you omit them. The political follow-up therefore fails. The chain breaks there. Listen to our recommendation. Observation in the previous meeting. Of course, I'm not oblivious of the fact that you came in much later. There are lapses and consistent breakdown in communication within the authority's technical wing, which would never share reports with the authority, with the elected leadership, which constitutes the authority under the Kcca Act. Information from the technical team goes out to the central government without the knowledge of both the Lord Mayor, who presides over the authority. At some point, the Minister of Kampala, Capital City, and Metropolitan Affairs informed the committee that she too was at times left in the dark by the technical team. Such is not healthy and cannot guarantee effective service delivery. That was our observation, and we made sufficient attendant recommendations.
Thank you, Chair.
Proceed, ma'am.
That observation is noted, but that was then. Chair, we have frequent interaction with my political leadership, the executive committee on a weekly basis, unless there is something important which has made us fail. And all the funding gaps I'm talking about,
I started Tai Chi at 50. Now I'm 68, and doctors ask me for advice.
3 reasons to start Tai Chi workout this summer. In 1 week, you'll see your energy. In 2 weeks, you'll feel your breath. In 3 weeks, you'll have energy, and your wife won't believe your results. Here is the personalized plan of short Tai Chi workouts tailored for beginners over 50. It takes just 7 minutes per day. beginner friendly, and requires no equipment. You can work out anytime, anywhere. Just open the app and follow along.
Much we budgeted and you never got the money. So when you look at their page 58 on the assets, there is land for about maybe 482 million or billion. But what's important is you go to page 59 of the Auditor General's report, and you will find that other machinery equipment, 10 billion. So they would need to tell us that we needed so much, we spent so much here. So can the ED,
yes,
can the ED tell us what machinery did they buy, what did they need, what's the shortfall?
No, there is a substantive query on machinery. There is also a substantive query on staffing. So we'll get there. Especially now that I guided that you're not leaving the room. Thank you.
But you are overprotecting them.
From
they
what?
Are the ones who have talked about machinery, we are about machinery.
No, machinery. There is a substantive item. We will get there. Proceed, madam. Maybe we want you to share with us the same documents that you shared with your political leadership that show efforts of trying to get the things that you want.
You see, Mr. Chairman, even if they say they did not have machinery, it should be in their asset register and say, we had so much, this one was not there. Second, they must show to us that they were in touch with the Ministry of Finance by way of writing.
That's exactly the guidance I've just given her. We will have the same documentation by close of business.
The documentation on the funding gaps, which also includes these machines.
All right.
Yeah, then the issue of procurement of land, and then mobilization of the waste management facility.
Just a minute, Chair. I don't know at what stage I will come in to furnish information like on that issue of machinery. I don't know. Most obliged.
Chair, on procurement of land, I have already explained how far we have gone, and efforts are underway to mobilize whoever is going to invest in the waste management and resource recovery facility in Buyala. We received 52 unsolicited bids, which we are processing at the moment. The Ministry of Finance is studying them to look at their economic viability in as far as this country is concerned. And when we get that report, we will proceed with the procurement.
Lord Mayor.
On the question of the equipment and management of the funds we have, yes, Chair, we still have some issues we are grappling with. And this is where I wanted to interest the committee in some of these issues to see how they can be adequately addressed. Chair, our budget currently for maintenance, previously of maintenance of Chitez, because right now it should be maintenance of Buyal, is 3.1 billion. Yes, Chair. For record purposes, if I can furnish you with the breakdown, Chair, I have the documentation here, and we have processed some copies for members. You see how interventions can be made. The Auditor General talks of hiring the equipment at 1.5, it's just one page document, Chair.
I now have people who read these things related to waste management, people who can read them better, like Honorable Kayondo. And Mlima Mayuni, because he is also the custodian of the garbage you left in Dundu. Are you still dumping in Dundu?
No, we have never dumped there.
You never dumped there?
No, no. not at
Okay.
all. Chair, if you could look at that document.
Yes.
It's the breakdown for the expenditure.
Did you say 3.1?
Yes, I said the 3.1.
But what I see is 4.189.
That was explained, Chair, that there was that money which was always being rolled over, 1 billion.
Oh.
Yeah. Which was never permitted to us, but they kept on rolling it over. So the actual amount is 3.1 billion. So we have always had issues with this. And you'd see, Chair, the biggest challenge we have now is that we are just hiring equipment. And the government has not provided us with the funds to purchase our own equipment. And the hire is quite exorbitant. It is high. You can see, Chair.
I think this is where Honorable Kwizera's question would come into play, where he would say, maybe I would modify it in Rufumbira English. How much do you need to buy equipment? And because that we would be able to know that if we got this 3.1, in 5 years we would have reached the same amount for purchasing our own equipment. Do you have a budget?
Yes, Chair. We have interrogated that matter internally, and the ED and her team have furnished us with information to explain the cost of hiring vis-a-vis purchase, of the cost of purchasing. And I have the figures here, Chair.
Let's have the figures on our record and in our ears.
And I thought this would be important that the ED here gives you this information, Chair. It's vital.
No, it's okay. You can assign to anybody.
Yes. I'll give this information to ED. The cost of...
Executive Director, what is the cost of hire vis-a-vis purchase?
A chairperson, at the site where we manage waste from, we use a number of machinery. For instance, we require a chain bulldozer with low ground pressure, hydraulic chain excavator. We require a land compactor, a water bowser because of the dust which comes out, and then a chain bulldozer. If we are to hire, for hiring these machines, we would require 3.715362000, 3.6.7 in summary. Yes. Per annum for hire. Now, considering the fact that purchase is a one-off, if we are to purchase, we would require 4.5 billion shillings to purchase, to purchase the equipment I've talked about.
So, Chair, okay.
I think, colleagues, you need to understand this, that annually we spend 3.7 billion to hire, but we need 4.5 billion to buy the entire set of what they need. You're saying no? Honorable Mzale, you know something about garbage?
No, about equipment. Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Chair, I want the Director Engineering to answer me, because I understand much as the ED is here, but this is to do with engineering. So I think the engineer may be.
I will
better
not
placed.
allow you to go there. Because I will not allow you to use my chair where you're seated to issue a vote of no confidence
No, Chair.
in the ED. No, the ED is here. She has a team. It is her to look into her people where she needs help. You cannot identify that help.
Okay.
You are ruled out of order.
Okay, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, well, I'm trying to look at the rights here. Number one would be who is the service provider for these equipment?
Okay, that's a good question. ED will answer it. Next question.
The next question, of course, looking at the rates here, they're almost times 2 the market rates.
The biggest service provider of this machinery for hire or sale?
Both. Mantrack does.
Mantrack hires also?
Yes.
Okay.
And the other one would be Fulcrum.
What happens if they put up the advert and Mantrack doesn't respond? Thinking aloud.
Mr. Chairman,
especially given now that we do not have, yes, now that we do not have the, yes, Honorable Kayondo. I did not want, are you done, Honorable Muzali? Let Muzali finish, Kayondo
Not
come
yet,
in, the
Mr.
ED will
Chairman.
clarify.
Mr. Chairman, I was looking at all these equipments listed in here. The bulldozer is equal the same. It carries the same rate as an excavator. Water bowser, of course, they vary basing on their size, but equally this rate is extremely high.
Everyone has dreams. Not everyone has the means to achieve them. That's where we come in. With our customized loans, you'll get the support you need to start, grow, and manage your business. Pride Bank.
I was going to ask the ED as she comes in to clarify after the Honorable Kayondo, that if you can buy land on hire purchase, what would stop you from buying equipment on the same terms, especially where you already have 3.1 billion that you can use in 1 year? I thought if you bought equipment on terms that you, well, we can pay you in 3 years, the same money you're using to hire, you would use it to buy and find it actually cheaper. Kayondo?
Chair, I think ED is hiding some information here.
Just bring out the information.
Yes, that's
but
the information. I
Don't
think
impute.
ED is hiding some information here.
Yeah, don't impute that
because
motive.
if you are talking of an excavator at 2.5 and you call that higher, no. Can you break down the hiring we are talking of here? Tell us the fuel, tell us the repairs. Is it included on this? Because if it is included on this, then you are reducing the cost of hire. If you are talking of the fuel, then if you are talking of the repair, then you are reducing the cost of hire. If you are talking of the lorry that delivers them to the site, so please be specific here. Is this 2.5?
I think your question is legitimate,
Please.
but the packaging.
No, I want to package it that way because I see she's not giving us.
You
she's
represent
giving us
some
the wrong-
island.
She's giving us the wrong impression. Because, no.
Chair, I ask for a clarification.
Okay,
No, I asked
let's,
for clarification.
before the Honorable Mwada comes in, let's hear the ED.
No, Chair, I'm finishing. Honorable Muzale was clear.
Yeah.
On the ground, you get an equipment at 1.5. That is higher. The consumption a day is 360 liters. We know the rate of repair. So please give us this information. Otherwise, this money should be added on this, so it shouldn't be 2.5. It's either 3 million or less. Please clarify on that.
Finished, but you inform the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, Kcca has budget lines. You'll find a budget line for oils and other things and fuel. These are dry rates. These are dry rates which are here. They do not include fuel. So that's the information I wanted to give my colleague. This doesn't have fuel. This is dry rate.
Chair, may I
And
be allowed
this
to
one-
clarify?
Chairman,
supposed
thanks
to
for
be
my
for
No,
8 hours
let's
a day.
hear ED. You come in later. ED?
Chairperson, I would like to clarify or to add on to the information I gave that the hire includes, it is wet lease. It is wet lease. It also has operation and maintenance and insurance. Thank you.
But Chair, if we are to get the actual figures for this wet hire,
Kayondo, listen to the witness.
the wet hire cost is 3.7 billion, whereas purchasing reduces annualized cost to 2.5 billion after considering depreciation, fuel, and maintenance. Annualized purchase cost, including fuel, operations, maintenance, and depreciation, is 2.5 billion. So the initial capital outlay is 4.2 billion. So still, we did this assessment and calculation. If you went into purchase, you would reduce the cost by 32%. That is the assessment that was
Do you
made.
mean this is information that was availed both to the Prime Minister and the Minister for Finance?
Chair, they have this information, including the problems associated with the hire before the Kcca debacle. Mr. Chairman, I wrote personally to the Prime Minister, and this information was forwarded to the Prime Minister, and how Nippon has made a kill out of this hire business. Because you're asking which company, he was talking about Mantra. Nippon enjoys monopoly there. Right from inception, when Kcca was removed from Otada, Otada was the one managing it before, the former MP. Now, when it came back to Kcca, we decided to hire Nippon equipment. Nippon has been enjoying a monopoly all through. So the entire budget almost has been going to Nippon. Yet when you go to Kcca, and we wanted an audit to be conducted, if indeed there was any serious maintenance, the justification given for hire is that maintenance is rather expensive on our side. And also protection of our equipment is problematic. I have an audit report here.
How problematic is it? What
Oh,
do you
yes.
mean by protection?
Yes,
That it
I'll
would
tell
be
you
stolen?
this, Chair. I have the Auditor General report of 2011-2012, which was assessed by processed by our Internal Public Accounts Committee, and they have presented the latest report, 2025, January 2025. They indicated that our way bridge at Kcca was stolen by Kcca officials and took it to Rwanda.
To Rwanda.
They stole it and took it to Rwanda. This is Auditor General and Public Accounts Committee. I have the report here. We have had occasion to discuss it internally with the ED and the entire team. We even had a retreat on this audit report, we went to Entebbe and said, can we take action to fight against this kind of thuggery?
Mr. Chairman,
The officials took the way bridge.
Clarification.
They took it to Rwanda and sold it to Rwanda. Yes? They are known. They are known. Those who
Mr. Chairman,
sold it.
clarification.
So the problem with the hire, the problem with the purchase, again, is the protection. You will purchase and the equipment will be sold. Like this way bridge was sold by Kcca officials to Rwanda. How they even crossed the border and took the way
Mr. Chairman,
bridge.
clarification. Clarification.
No, it was...
clarification, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, clarification.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I have two issues.
Please share that report
for the
with
road
us
mayor
now.
to
Somebody pick it.
clarify. Mr. Chairman, one, the originator of the budget of the authority should be the authority where the road mayor is the chairperson. So, what is the role of the authority, the council, to the budget? And what did they recommend? Did they recommend higher or purchase? That we want those evidence from the council to see if someone worked contrary to what council, the authority decided. That's one. Two, you have talked about safety. Can we get a police reference report? You have, at any time it came to your knowledge, you are accountable. You should have reported to police. The final point, Mr. Chairman, is that the cost of hire depends on when you repay. If you hire and you are going to pay in the first quarter, it's different from when you are not going to pay within 6 months. So that one...
I think on the last one, either way, it is balanced by the fact that you can buy on higher purchase terms. But just listen to this, the report that has been given to me, that in the year 2011-2012, Auditor General's report, two-way bridges were stolen by Kcca officials from the garbage collection site at Kcca and sold in Rwanda. A memorandum which was received by the CPAC dated 22nd February 2012 showed that a brand new way bridge was stolen and replaced with an old one, an old and dysfunctional way bridge. To date, there is no functional way bridge to measure the quantities of garbage delivered at the landfill. Contained in this memorandum was also a recommendation that the Office of ED and Police work hand in hand with the former Assistant Town Clerk, Kcca, Kawempe, to lead to the perpetrators who sold the way bridges. However, this matter has since stalled and currently no efforts are going on to recover these way bridges. Recommendation. The Executive Director
특히나 한국인한테 당뇨 환자가 많은 이유가 또 있어요. 서양인들 보면 더 배도 많이 나오고
더 뚱뚱한 사람도 많은 것 같은데.